What we do here is go back.
But we just started, so you hardly missed anything. But a lot of why I relate more to the Misfits as an adult is because a lot of their songs are really empowering.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that they knew what they wanted, and they would like pretty much stop at anything, stop at nothing. And
I never saw the song "Designing Woman." I never thought that as a negative song.
No.
Like, no, this is taking charge, knowing what you want, and going to go get it.
Right.
Even as a little girl, that's how I took that.
I didn't as a little girl, but as an adult, listening to the song, listen to the lyrics and the verses. She's like, I'm not one of those women that's looking for a husband to take care of them. Exactly. Like, oh, those poor women. It's all about me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm taking care of me. I don't
Right.
need it.
And that empowered me as an adult. I have literally been that woman staying at home with the kids, flipping the channel, clipping the coupons, and I'm like, I gotta change this! Wait a minute!
We all need a little
Yes.
Taking it all is one of my favorite songs because it is about getting what you want. Don't wish for it. Go get it. You want it, go get it. And that's so empowering, especially for girls and women.
I think the Misfits were inadvertently empowered.
Yeah.
And I was about to say, do you feel like in any way that because it was the villain who had those attitudes, that then having them became wrong somehow?
For a very impressionable little girl, yes, I think so. Like,
in
well, you're not
childhood-
supposed
You
to.
didn't want to like it.
In childhood, yes, but as an adult, you look at it and you're like, that's.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Get it, girl.
Like, winning is everything, okay, to a point.
Yeah.
To a point.
I mean, a lot of their songs were negative, but they had some positive.
They did.
They did.
Innocent for positive messages. And that was okay. Be like, I'm gonna go get what I want. Screw those guys.
Yeah.
But I think our country kind of hinged on the idea that for today, we can see the value in it. But like you were saying, for a young girl, so it's like that
I
idea.
want to be a nice girl.
Oh, yeah, go for it. I mean,
That mixed message.
Yeah, I want to be a nice girl, so I'll go along to get along, but where you really should have a little bit more of something to get.
Right. Just don't try to kill somebody.
Don't kidnap, embezzle, or murder. You know, just work really hard for what you want.
And that kind of leads into my next discussion point. Have you taken any life lessons from Jem to heart? Has any of that affected any of your decision making as an adult?
I love what I strive to be as a mom and now a teacher. Is Jericho's whole attitude of do no harm but take it away. Because Jericho will put you in a place when you need it.
Yeah.
But she cares deeply.
Yes.
So
So just
she is a tough businesswoman.
do no harm but take no shit.
You can have both.
That episode, what was the name of the episode? Alone Again. The conversation that Jerica had with Laura in the car about her drug use, I thought that was the most solid, structured, perfectly fitting conversation. Because
And it was-
most of what she did was listen. She heard
She didn't
what was
talk
going
at her.
on, and she told her exactly, everything Laura was saying. She said, well, I can solve this myself. Jerica asked her very simply, you have it solved. But that made her think.
It was the Dr.
That's
Phil
her
and
back.
how's that working for you?
Yes.
It's not, clearly.
But that
But-
speaks to what you're saying.
And then she said, I can't force you to do anything.
Yes, that's sweet.
Here's what I think you should do, but I can't force you.
Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree.
So,
in the beginning, I couldn't relate to Jem in that way, but after losing my dad as a teenager, I then understood it more when I watched the show then. And I think thanks to that, it kind of made me a stronger person to have that, the strength of both Jem and Jericho, kind of what helped propel me through life. now, and kind of more on my own, more independent, more strong, going through a lot of crap, a lot of turmoil.
Well, I'm the same. I lost both parents very young, so I can relate to that very well. Watching Out of the Past as an adult can be heartbreaking.
I actually did recently. I started to tear. I'm like, put it together. Come on. I don't have time to cry today. Kids are getting home in half an hour. Pull it together.
Yeah, that's about how it is for me watching that. But I agree.
That and Father's Day. I just skipped the last. I'm like, this. I know this episode ends on a song. We're just gonna leave it now. I can't.
But I see where you're coming from. It does make you a stronger person. You see that you can relate to that. It's like you're not going through it alone.
No, and when Bonnie sings of what a father should be, that's where I lost it, because when she was talking about that reminiscing, talking about what a father should be, I'm like, that was my dad to me, in relation to me. And yeah, I kind of fall through the whole thing. But it's a happy memory, right? It's a happy tears of the precious time that I did have with my father. It's now meant more to me than it was when I was 10, watching the show.
And then the flip side of that is, we just lost our dad, 3 years ago. But to hear what a father should be, Dad was not emotionally available. He should have been, but he wasn't because he couldn't.
He was an alcoholic. He struggled a lot with. Our brother died when we were very young, and he was a war veteran. He dealt with his problems through alcohol.
I never blamed him for drinking, honestly.
And he went to work. When he wasn't at home, he was always working, and we had no qualms about that. But it was the alcoholism mostly that he just couldn't make himself emotionally available to us as young women, young girls, and I get teary too. Yeah, I can't get teary.
See, when I hear it too, because I was emotionally connected with my father, because that's what he wanted.
Right.
So I kind of think of it in a positive way.
Exactly, and it affects everybody differently.
Yeah.
So now we think of, now hearing that song as adults, not only do we reflect on our past, but we look toward the future on what we want the father of our children.
And I have that for my kids.
That's wonderful.
One thing that I've learned very, very, very potently is not to live a double life as a Hollywood.
That makes things so much easier.
But on that, I know that for me personally. I don't know what it is. I have this thing with alter egos. There's Jem, and my other childhood fixation was Superman. And here it is again with the alter ego. There's a side of you that everybody sees, and a side of you that nobody sees, or that people don't see in the way that is most honestly reflecting of you.
Right.
Yes, and I've found that to be very true in a lot of ways. Unconsciously, in some ways, we all have a mask. And that's where I'm
Everybody
going.
does.
Yeah, and so that it's almost like at some level, all of us have a type of alter ego. There's a type of person that we are in public, and a type of person that we are that only our family know, or only our closest friends know. Now, these examples, Jem being two completely different people, Superman and Clark being two completely different people, are certainly exaggerations of this point. But I think that at some level, for our own safety and maturation as individuals, there has to be that border between what the whole world knows and what everybody else knows.
Well, and I know the movie is polarizing. I say it best, but there's a line in the movie where they're talking about social media, being online, and the person you're presenting. But you have that you have a Facebook wall, and you're using that Facebook wall to hide behind.
Why is that connected to the movie? A lot of people do that in real life.
I know, but they said that was an actual line in the movie. So I was just bringing that up. But it's the same thing. Hiding behind a mask, hiding behind a wall. And online you're showing you're showing a version of
You're showing the
yourself.
highlight reel.
Yeah.
So those alter egos, though, those alter egos maybe have different personality traits that get amplified,
Yeah.
but they still espouse the same core values.
For
Yeah.
Superman and Clark, yes.
And Jem and Jerica, they're always kind
Well,
and,
okay, yeah.
and all of that. So I think that if we do have masks or alter egos, as long as you're staying true to yourself, then it's probably okay and it can be a healthy thing.
Yes, that's
It's when-
exactly what I'm talking about.
Is when you switch it up, you know, and you start flaming people online or something. If that's not really who you are, you probably shouldn't be doing that nonsense, right?
But Dean
Yes,
Cain said it
that's
best,
exactly
he
what I'm
said that, he said Superman is my disguise, Clark is who I am. And that was the whole premise of even that show, Lois and Clark, was it was more about Clark than it was more about Superman.
Yeah, when other,
Superman kind of came into it,
Yeah.
because Lois Lane loved both. She
Yeah.
loved kind of more Superman first and then Clark. And then when he asks her to marry him, she says, who's asking? Clark.
yeah, that's how she knew, yeah,
So it
exactly.
took her a while to figure it out, but when she did, and she realized, hey, these two are the same person.
Yeah.
I just thought that Dean had said it best then. He was talking about that and said that he was more focused on more Clark than he was Superman.
It also reminds me of the film Inside Out. You have many personalities.
Right.
The happy one, the sad one,
Yeah.
the angry one,
I
the
know.
disgusted one, the
Ugly
sad one.
crying the whole time.
And we are a mix of different things that are more or less in a second pattern. One day I'm a little like this and another way. Another day I'm a little like that. So in certain circumstances I
Different situations, feelings, and different responses.
We're all multifaceted. There are some parts of ourselves that we don't show to everybody.
Only a special few.
Right.
Or unfortunate few.
Oh!
Depending on how you look at it. Has Jem affected any of your interests or career choices? I know you were talking about yesterday with music and different creativity, and I know a lot of that has come with a lot of people from Jem, a love of music or a love of art or fashion.
I have always been a passionate writer, and I remember the first story that I wrote was built around the characters for Jem, and I might have been 7. Yeah, I might have been 7. So if I could blame Jem for being the anchor for the expression of my writing, it would be that. That would work.
And I know Colleen said yesterday about music that she got into, became interested in music because of Jem.
Yeah, I wanted to be Jem. I wanted to have my own rap band. I still do. I still want my own rap band. But holographic or otherwise, I don't care.
I took that almost a step further in learning how to play an instrument. I wanted to play music, but unfortunately I found out music's hard. It is actually really hard. So when I joined band in 6th grade, I took up flute. So not only did I have to learn how to play an instrument, I had to learn how to read music while learning how to play an instrument.
Yes.
That was so difficult. But then fast forward to here I am in high school in marching band. I know how to play my instrument. I've memorized music. I can memorize a halftime show and a drill and all of that. And it's very complex, but I loved it. So I took music theory my sophomore year of high school, and I think my teacher, because he was my band director, just passed me because he felt bad. Because I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, I should really know how to play piano, and I can't. So, but I found out music's hard, and I should probably just enjoy it.
And that's where it is for me. I need to attempt to learn it.
Like, I play the flute too. I don't know if I can bring that back to Jem. There was this flute in the Jungle playset. I don't
That's
know.
true.
But I just remember for me, the music in Jem was definitely like what connected. And I told some people, my brother and I used to put on concerts with the dolls, you know, with the tapes on, and we got the dolls all set up. And I remember just like sitting by myself and like playing the tapes over and over again, and you know, like just singing along with it. So like, Like I know music was always important to me in like a lot of different facets. I like a lot of what my parents like too. But like the Jem songs and tapes or something I remember listening to over and over again. I'm surprised mine still play because like they all play. Like that's how we got into finding Jemcon because Chris was like watching me go play, flip, play, flip. He's like, I am gonna find you music so you can have a CD, and then that all led to here. And I was like, I don't have to do that anymore.
When the days of Napster came around, that was my
Yes.
first thought. Is Jem out there? So he was my boyfriend at the time, he's my husband now. He's like, well, let me find him. And 3 days later, I had a song. I'm like, I've not heard this song since I was 6.
Well, that was a lot with, I don't know if any of you remember Real Audio files.
They were only the beginning of digital music.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I had to explain to him, this is what now? Like, listen.
But I really feel
You don't
like the
even
Jem
know.
song
Yeah.
like even got me through times when I was a kid. Because when you guys were talking, my dad's still alive, but we're estranged. I'm not allowed to spend time with him because my stepmom doesn't like me. And I've always been told he's a dry alcoholic, so that he acts like an alcoholic without the drinking problem. And that's the part that kills me is like, you see, well, some people say, oh, if I only had a father, this is what I have, but like some people have a father and they still don't have it, and you think to yourself, wow, this is sad, like, you're in my life, but you can't be in my life like you should be. And I remember a lot of times where like things were bad before my parents divorced, and I'm like, it was just me listening to the music, and the music was getting me through. And I feel like even into adulthood, it carried over into that comfort. Like, okay, I'm driving the stressful driving to work, but I'm listening to Jem. It's like.
Well, I know a lot of people have said that Jem really got them through hard times in their childhood and adulthood too, and it still does for me.
Yeah.
A friend of mine told me a story. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's a musical security blanket, but then I'm done.
It is.
A friend of mine told me a story about a really, really bad breakup that had happened, and it was said that the lyrics in the second verse of the Glitter and Gold song were salvific balm to kind of bridge the gap between how the feelings were on this side as well as the feelings on the other side. There's still love. We're just not together the way we used to. From a song that was supposed to be geared towards 7-year-olds. I
And
can't
selling a clothing line for the dolls.
Right.
Let's face it, 'cause it was a commercial.
Right.
The whole episode was
And
a
a car.
commercial.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So the idea that the lyrics of the song were instrumental in helping them get through that breakup. And it's funny to me how we talk so openly about how, yes, it's a cartoon, and yes, it was supposed to be for children, for the toys, for the doll line, for all of those other things, that it ended up not being.
Right.
It ended up being so much more
Well, it was-
than what the intention was.
It was written so maturely. I mean, there was so many layers and so much nuance to the writing and the lyrics of the songs
You're
and
competing for
everything.
your hands up.
I have seen nothing but children's programming 24 hours a day for 8 years, and let me tell you, they talk down
They
to the
do,
kids
and Jem never
because
did.
they're children. Jem
never
did not
did.
do that. So again, on the surface, it was pretty tame, but then through a mature lens, you're going, dang, this is really deep.
And it tackled some tough issues.
It forced you to mature a bit.
Right.
And I did not mind that at all. I did not mind that at all.
I loved it.
And I actually have thought about other 80s TV shows the same way. It's like, if I had understood it the way I understand it now, at that point,
Right.
Yeah.
I get it. I see that now. I totally understand.
I also feel like I was never really treated like a child, if that makes sense to you. I feel like I was always treated like a little adult. Like my mom, talked to me like I was an adult. There was never I don't know if I was just really good at policing myself, so she never had to say go to bed, do this, do your homework. But I never felt like I had other friends who were they would get yelled at, grounded, whatever. But there was no rule in my house you can't swear, you can't do this, you can't whatever. But my mom knew we weren't going to, so I didn't have that rebellious nature in me maybe. But then in that way, my mom was like, oh well, she didn't say you can't watch this and you can't do this. And so I always felt like I was on her level even from a really
young age. But I do still see it like from a different perspective now that I'm like an adult. But I do agree with you. I feel like sometimes like you have to treat children, you know, like they really are so intelligent. Like especially my cousins, like I can see the difference when they were growing up, you know, and they're like 20 years younger than me, and so it's like, but I can see even when my little cousin Alyssa, I used to say, you are a little adult. We had these conversations with her at 7, you know, you said you're writing at 7, Raven. Like their minds are just there with us, a lot of them, and, but then like I feel like if you don't allow that to mature and grow, you know,
Stifled it.
yeah, they don't learn to be the independent, you know, adults they should be, but I don't know. I don't see the problem in some of these things. I think it's like my friends who were restricted and said they couldn't watch this, you know, TV or listen to this music or say this swear word, but they want to say it all the more, you know?
Yes.
No, you're right. I talk about this a lot at work, and because I work with kids maybe as young as 8, and occasionally with tweens. So this was like original target age group. Yeah, it's a wider thing where you shouldn't avoid subjects necessarily that are inappropriate potentially, but you should talk about them. And I think Jem is a really good example of like human relationships and interactions with each other, especially between people who don't get along. And also not romantic relationships because there's so much friendship in it. It's a pretty good example of how things really is pretty realistic. Except when it's not, but except when it's not, because we were talking about this, just about the what the heck with the shape, the triangle thing.
Yes.
All that aside, because that's just in there for soap opera-ness. It's how like my approach to having materials for that age group, and like having the comic book section in the teen section, and recommending it to kids as young as 8, or 8 or 10. Same thing. But I do get a lot of pushback from parents because they want to just censor everything, and I'm like, no. Talk about it early and talk about it.
It's age-appropriate levels.
Yeah.
Satisfy the curiosity and then move on.
Right. Let's guide them to what is determined for their age group. Right. Yeah. There's certainly things.
Pacified. They need to be educated.
Right. There are certainly times where you don't want to expose them to certain things, like scary things, for example. Scary things, for example. Right. There's exactly. There's like, I'm like, here, have this. This is written for this age group, and this is good. And then heck, Banned Books Week is this week. Everybody, come on. Yeah.
Because they're, especially in that age group, I guess you're growing up into, being a teenager. That's the hardest age, middle school age. That is the worst age because your body's going through certain hormones and you're dealing with different complex emotions. Your childhood is ending, adulthood, pre-adulthood is beginning, and you're kind of in this weird almost stage.
It's appropriate to think about what a romantic relationship is like and how that might play out. That's completely developmentally
Starting to
appropriate.
figure out complex emotions. Complex feelings. I'm trying to think of the word of duality.
And like I said, having the soap opera-y stuff about it, like the weird love triangle, was probably it was maybe the only thing that might have missed the mark because it wasn't realistic. But then again, it doesn't have to be. But it's something that I think current animation does get right. Like for example, She-Ra, when we talk about the reboot of She-Ra, there are some interpersonal relationships that sort of border on romantic feelings, but they don't know. So it's really it's spot on for age-appropriate stuff because they're like, I have no idea what these feelings are, and then they talk about it with their friends, which is really healthy to do. So that's exactly what. Not everything has to be like completely perfect all the time.
And I think making things taboo for children, like saying that's not age appropriate, that just makes them more curious and makes them want to seek out more.
It's not a good response to it. It's really not, and it's backed up by science.
one thing I was always grateful for was I felt like I could talk to my mom about anything. Like there wasn't anything I was ever afraid to like broach with her, you know? Like I wasn't scared there was any reason, like I knew she always loved me unconditionally. And that was like, I felt that in the cartoon too, you know? Like when there's a problem, like you said, Jerica or Jem, you know, they're not coming down on people. They want to know you're okay, they want to know you're safe, they still love Ashley, you know? Like that's the kind of love that I feel like the show taught. And, you know, not everyone gets that, and that's, you know, hard, but I'm grateful that I know I had that in my life. I think that shaped me as a person, even though I had other adults in my life, even my father, who did not give me unconditional love. But just knowing I had that one person you could go to makes a big difference.
And that brings me on to another talking point. Jem has a lot of themes of found family. Like, you know, Aja and Shannon were Eric and Homer's biological sisters. The Misfits were, they were a family, even though, and the Stingers.
Yeah, no, they were there.
They were.
There
were good times where we each saw them caring for each other in a weird way. Even the Misfits sometimes, to some weird way.
And maybe, you know, healthy ways.
Right.
No,
Don't make fun of Roxy's
right, exactly. At least Stormer was usually trying to do the right thing.
She was the voice of reason.
She was.
You had to have that in the village.
She was the one who cared for the other dysfunctional adults in that.
Well, even when Stormer left, they wanted her back, and they were trying to get her back by giving her cars and credit cards.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because that's the only way Pizzazz
That's the only way that Pizzazz knows love. So
Oh my God, I know. Like, I identified with that. I was like, that's my dad, except I didn't get all the money.
True, yeah.
Go play in traffic, but you don't get the money.
And even Jemcon itself is a found family.
Yes. Like I said, you know, that walking in last year to my very first one, I'm like, what is going on here? But walking in this year, I'm like, oh, all my friends are here.
Ordinarily, Christmas is shocking to me, and I haven't told you this yet, but we were here before. Obviously, like Kitty and I are only 3 years apart. I knew Jem because of her. My age group was sort of too young-ish. But I liked it because she liked it because that's what you do. That's what the bratty sister does. The bratty baby sister. We also draw her tapes because I was pissed off for some reason. And you might have a good reason. But anyway, like ordinarily, it's very hard for Katie to. I don't want to say it's hard for her to get friends, but it is. She's very much a wallflower ordinarily, and this is the first. And she doesn't like just go out there and talk to me. This was the first time and place for me to talk to her. She was like, I've never seen her blossom like this. Like, it's really touching. Because she's like, oh, these people understand me.
Yes.
My first jump, I'm like, I found my people.
I was gonna say that.
I found my people.
I'm looking for you all.
Yep.
Where were you when I was 8?
All across the country and the rest
Geographically
of the
distributed, that's that issue.
I know. Yeah, nobody else in my class was playing Jam. Everybody was playing Barbies, and I'm like, what? No.
Exactly.
Even.
Well, for me, my age range was just under. I saw Jem, and I think I saw maybe a couple of first-run episodes, but I was very young, and I only have like very basic memories of them.
Yeah.
But I got into the reruns, USA Network, what have you. And I think I was just old enough. I had two movies growing up, and I think it was around the time that they were discounted for parents, whatever. And that's how I got the Stars Kids too. I thought I would have read that. Had it been full price.
But see, since this is my very first Jemcon, it's so great to be around like-minded people, share your passion, share your fandom.
And it's not just Jem, but we have a lot of overlaps as well.
Yeah. Because how many times were you trying to, oh, what did you do as a kid? Oh, I loved Jem. What's that?
People are like, what?
And right away, I feel like, well, I'm an idiot, you know? Now I gotta explain this and nobody understands it. But here, I don't need to do that.
I almost couldn't get into the country because the border guard didn't know what Jem was. So I had to explain He's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to Jemcon.
What are you carrying?
Why? What is it? I'm like,
Why not?
what is it? I said, it's a convention for Jem And The Holograms. And he's like, what's Jem And The Holograms? I'm like, oh my God.
That's when you take your phone out, play the theme song, this is Jem.
That's what I told him. I said, look it up. It's not that difficult.
Then you probably tell you to turn around and go home.
I had to explain it to a police officer. He looked it up on his own computer. Okay.
I gotta know, what was his reaction?
I mean, it wasn't shock or anything, but I mean, I was like, I told him and he looked it up. All right, I'll get out of here.
Did it get you out of a ticket?
No, I mean, he didn't give us a ticket. Really, he pulled us over, little off topic. He pulled us over because we're from Oregon and we were driving into Indiana and he saw Oregon. And he came out and said, you know, I'm really not interested in the fact that we're like driving 5 miles over this ridiculous.
I just want to know why you're here.
Right. No, it was just like, you know, we're interested in potentially drugs being run. And I'll let you know the warning if you don't have warrants or drugs or whatever. Right.
Anything you're high on is Jem.
Very good. You don't know.
Conversely, Earthquake kind of got me out of the town, but I can say that I call it the Earthquake Fire.
Wait, what?
I told you that.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry, this is off topic, but I was in a town over from our hometown, so in speeding because I'm like, these are country roads and that shit, you know. And I was listening to the radio and I was like, September. And then I hear, you know, and the guy was like, I'm a parent. I'm of the mind you like, don't just tell them the truth. Like you'll probably get easier treatment if you tell them just are honest. And he's like, you know how fast you're going? And I was like, honestly, I have no idea how fast I was going. I was born and raised here. These are country roads. It's the middle of the night. I'm just going. And I got all excited because September came on, and it is September, and it was just I was living my best life, and come on, don't tell me you don't love this song. And he was trying. I was trying so hard not to go off. So he let me off with a warning. So, it's like, I were in the fire defense.
Cleveland area police, yay.
He was a good sport. Anyway, sorry.
Michael, did your parents, how did your parents feel about you being a family your boy? Do you want to?
I'm bringing up the parents.
It was not the easiest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always a feminine boy with everything. I loved pink. I loved dolls. And I think my mother was just more trying to protect me than anything else. By trying to.
It still happens.
Like you can do this at home, but keep it under wraps at home.
Because I wasn't an average boy, I guess. That's what I tell myself. That's what I tell myself. Most of the other kids, because I remember I have a very vivid memory of kindergarten. We had these little the teacher has the little plastic baskets for us to put our pants and equipment, and we got to pick what color we wanted. And I picked the pink one. And I was like, why are you doing it? Because I like pink.
Colors. Not long ago, one of my 4-year-olds said, well, pink is a girl color. And I said, well, who said it is?
Pink was actually.
And then I just left it again.
It was actually originally a boy color. Because I looked at
Thank you adults for telling the boys that it's not, because we're still telling them this. It's still good. It's
But originally, blue was the girl color because it was supposed to be. It was more dainty and delicate, and pink was the boy color because I can't remember the exact description, but it had
It's
something
a
to do.
derivative of red.
Well, a derivative of red, and it was something about being reminiscent of raw meat. Honestly.
That sounds like something sub-20s, like,
What?
baby character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
It's
dressing
like-
weird like that.
They're like
Seriously.
or something.
Seriously.
Okay, so I have a question now.
Hold on.
I have been told that scientifically it has been proven that when you are in sports and you have a home stadium, painting the opponent's locker room pink subdues their aggression and makes them easier to win against whatever game that you're playing with. So
I'll be right back. I gotta go to the Brown Stadium real quick.
So my question is,
Hold on.
how
They
is
have like Iowa State.
that possible if meat was supposed to be a male color, masculine color at first, and now it's a symbol of,
Maybe
you know,
Can I chime in? So you gotta be careful with a lot of studies that say that like scientists do, and you have to really far into it and like understand what sample size you're doing.
That's true
What
too.
around are doing, what other assumptions, and also
Even the
correlation.
demographics that they're
Demographics,
studying.
also correlations and causation. So if they found this trend somewhere at one point, it's not saying like mine did, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So general accepted point with science is that if something is like an outlandish thing or like very important, like the war or something, you can't just come up with that person. Like,
Sure.
Right, but I remember reading that, but
Yeah.
it is that the journalists, they pull out the most unusual
Yeah,
thing from the
there
study.
are a lot of
Right.
They do to be
Well, they're-
sensationalized.
They're
Because
trying to
somebody
make the article
somewhere wrote a
interesting.
paper on it one time.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right
They're,
or wrong.
they're selling a
How
story.
is it, yeah,
Yes.
so my whole question was whether there is complete scientific basis for it or just the general acceptance of it. How does that pink opponent locker room theory fit with the idea that pink used to be a man's color?
I think it's probably because it's now socially now it is a feminine color.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's
it,
great.
it is cultural.
It has its roots in sociology.
Yeah,
And when we talk about culturally, we're only going to be able to talk about our own culture, being Americans.
Right.
You know, modern Americans. And that changes. Yeah, it continues to change. And that's what we're doing now artificially by not telling children that this is a boy color, this is a girl color. We are challenging that current culture by making it, by hoping to tell the kids that they can be okay with whatever color they like. Like that's.
And it could be reinforcement bias. It could be it's not the color pink, it's the fact that this is the girl color.
True.
Yeah.
It's a gender bias.
Well, because things that are, I heard you talking about, like with your mother wanting to take shopping in high school in the '60s.
Yes.
But see, as our culture, like tomboy, it's okay to be a tomboy because girls are being more masculine. It's not okay for boys to be feminine
for a
because.
long time it was not okay for a boy to be more than
Well, and a lot it's still not because it's supposedly being feminine and being anything associated with a woman is bad. But being masculine and being anything associated with a man is good.
But wait. As an addition to that, the general idea that if women take on leadership roles, whether or not that leadership role in and of itself is good, a woman isn't supposed to do that.
Right.
So that's how that backlash comes back.
Right.
a man is assertive, but a woman is
Right.
Yes, I totally apologize. I'm totally a millennial and I totally can't handle that.
Now that's good research. What are you doing?
Okay, this is from Jezebel.com. According to the Smithsonian, pastel baby clothes were introduced in the mid-19th century.
Oh, I did read.
Yes. Okay. The colors were gender specific at first. The Ladies' Home Journal article in June of 1982. The generally accepted rule is pink is for boys and blue is for girls. The reason is that pink, being a more decided and stronger color, is more suitable for the boy, while blue, which is more delicate and dainty, is prettier for the girl. Other sources said blue was flattering for blondes, pink for brunettes. or blue was for blue-eyed babies, pink for brown-eyed babies. So that's how the blend kind of came. And then in the 60s and 70s, the baby clothes became a little more unisex due to women's liberation. It's just what we were talking about.
Before they started making them pink and blue, they were white.
They were white. They were all white.
And they made them pink and blue, so you can't reuse if you have a boy baby and a girl baby. You can't. You'll have to buy.
See, and society again.
Buying retail baby clothes versus making your own.
Yes.
Lower mine.
Yes, go for it.
So, all the colors, and I don't mean like how we perceive the colors, I mean like how we designate them, are not real. Like, they're all invented by humans. So
Yes.
the whole notion of like there being 6 colors, that's just something we kind of like arbitrarily made up.
And so we can sing a song in preschool about the
Right.
colors of the rainbow.
Well, actually,
this is proven because when you go to like past societies, some of them have 4 colors, some of them have 5 colors. Even today, like in Japan, for example, they sometimes say green and blue are the same color.
Green, blue.
So, and the takeaway from that is that a lot of the reasons we have colors mean certain things is more so because we associate them with certain things, and more so because we think they are this thing, is that thing. So the whole like pink is for blue girl, there's nothing really like, we just kind of made that up.
Well, the same could be said for music, because we have our own standardized system, but if you go to India, they have a totally different monochromatic scale.
Yeah.
They have 12 notes in an octave, we have 8.
8, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
Certain aspects of numbers as well, but the nice part about numbers is there is some universality. But
That's the universal language.
Use zeros as your day job.
I'm a programmer and a mathematician.
There you go.
Take that. Always smart.
But no,
That's amazing.
Actually, like I went this weird period of my life where I like looked up color theory and everything. There's actually weird things like color mixings. Yeah, but like,
That's how it starts. Then you
Yeah.
go down a rabbit hole.
I'm looking at like color responsivity graphs to the human eye, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh, if you're not deterministic, you can. So like add the color mixing is deterministic, you can subtract. Yeah. Anyway,
It all comes down to this. We gotta smash the patriarchy.
But the takeaway is that color is like a societal thing. It's not.
You're right.
That's why I'm always skeptical. Like anytime I hear that someone says, "Oh, you associate this certain color," like we associate blue with calmness, I'm like,
Yeah.
Sure, it's because it looks like water.
We associate because it said so.
Yes.
Yeah.
To bring
Well,
it
I
anything,
have one more thing to say about color, and then we can let this go. For you all to understand, this is teal, my favorite color in all the world. Thank you.
Woo! Yeah.
That's all.
Back to Jen.
sorry, we went on a tangent.
No,
Yeah,
we
it's
did.
okay.
But it took us on a turn. We're going back, and it's great. And here's why. When you look at color associations, look at Jen. Look at just their hair.
Yes.
Yes.
First of all, I wanted everybody's hair, but look at the hair colors of the good people and the villain. So
Yeah.
what was the difference?
Well,
Yes.
pastels versus bold colors.
Yes.
Well, even with
Yeah,
Transformers,
Definitely.
even with Transformers,
Yes.
like the Autobots were like red and like bold primary colors, and the Decepticons were like purples and like acid green.
Right. Rainbow Bright.
Rainbow Bright.
Mercury was brown, and there was brown and black, and those are bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Dull and earth tones and blue.
If you look at like movies and stuff, there are a lot of common tropes. For example, like in Disney movies, if it's green, it's bad.
Yeah, I read that too. Green and purple.
I
are
did
the
see
bad
that.
colors.
They're bad colors. Green and
Maleficent.
purple.
Ursula.
If
Ursula.
you have watched as much Curious George as I have, the man in the yellow hat. So obviously his whole outfit is yellow.
Yellow's a primary color.
Yellow is a primary color. So, and I was really looking. Everything in this show is either red, blue, yellow, or green, with the exception of George was brown. Everything. I've looked at this at length. Everything is either
Because she has
red, yellow, blue, or green.
But
original books were very much of those colors too, because
Yes.
they did not use that many paints.
No.
And that was probably a cost issue for that.
Yeah.
Probably,
Right.
yeah.
So-
A lot of picture books from that time period
Right.
were had only a few colors.
So going back to Jem And The Holograms, one thing I actually noticed a stylistic difference.
Is that it's made us all analytical?
No, I was gonna say the color spectrum is quite varied, which is interesting because it gives it this kind of like dreamy and mystic quality.
It was more detailed.
Yeah.
It was very, very detailed.
A lot of cartoons, and especially a lot of movies, though, pick more opinionated color schemes. For example, like every Hollywood movie out there does the blue orange one.
Yeah.
Like Batman does that one.
I actually just read an article about that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's like a super common trope that like nobody likes, but they keep on doing it anyway.
No, it's commonplace.
But so Jem, it's like they're like all over the place, which it's really nice because it makes it look like you're in this constant just like orgasm. Like you almost don't even need the holograms to believe. And then what's interesting in the comic is I noticed the comic is a bit more opinionated, where the comic will like have one issue be like purples and blues, and then or like one series of frames will be like blacks and oranges, or like the dark Jem comic. I think dark Jem comic I like is they use a lot of blacks, and like text is black territory, so like they'll just have like pink.
Colors also amplify, or it's a way to physically personify our emotions.
In some ways, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're sad, you're
Right.
red hot mad.
Green within me.
Yellow mellow.
Red makes fire.
Fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are just about out of time. And our topic of conversation has been all over the place, but that's okay.
That's what these things do. Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that. But does anyone, I think we have about 10 minutes left. Does anyone have anything else to add to?
So I'm a little weird because I like that.
That's not weird.
So I thought it was kind of interesting because, for example, when we were talking about like jumping into cartoons, so my like gateway drug was My Little Pony. Like
literally original or Friendship is Magic?
Friendship is Magic.
Oh, yeah. Excellent choice, though. Excellent choice.
Yeah, I like Friendship is Magic.
That was like my antidepressant. Like I would literally just like the only thing that would get me out of bed would be to go to the living room and watch My Little Ponies, like for like weeks at a time. And then like it ended, and I'm like, oh my god, I need more. And Netflix is like, here we have some. So you started the weed, we have the cocaine, and so yeah, I guess even now, like you know, like I didn't know about it as a kid. I was super repressed. Like I kind of did the same thing you did. Like I was kind of early stuff, but like I really like repressed the crap out of it. Like, I wanted to be a figure skater, but I went to hockey instead, and I hated hockey. Like I wanted to watch Sailor Moon, but I watched Dragon Ball Z. Like I would actually turn on Sailor Moon, and then the minute my parents would come in, and then switch away to something.
I've done that with certain shows too. Like I know when I dug out my old VHS tapes of Jem and watched them as I was probably like 13, 14. I would watch it in my room. And every time I hear someone come up the stairs, I turn it off real quick.
Jem was kind of like part of me.
So for someone who didn't grow up with it, started as a child, how is it impacting you?
So it came at a really, and my interesting thing was I watched the show. So it got me into this like weird, it affected me in that it made me more confident and just wanting to be more of myself. Even though I'm weird and I'm always changing, like I don't know where I am right now, but
It all depends on the mood you're in.
and then also like I have a weird interesting relationship with like feminism and like the comic is super feminist, but also the show is super feminist.
It really is.
So
I was just gonna add,
Yeah, I have such a problem with feminism. Let me explain what I mean. As far as the definition is concerned, feminism is simply the belief that men and women are equal citizens, equal values, should have equal rights, and equal pay for equal work. Done. The way that it's practiced, the way that feminism is practiced, it makes women seem like if they want simple equality, they're ready to cut off some and blither it.
It's like,
I'm like, that is so unnecessary. That is so unnecessary. So,
Well, you can take anything to an extreme.
well, see, what I'm saying is the extreme that the word feminism is taken to really discourages a lot of people who would support the actual definition. Exactly. So
when we're really just going backwards.
what I wanted to ask you was, when you say feminism, which definition are you talking about? The way that it's really structured or the way it's colloquially practiced?
It's funny, like, I remember when someone told me, like, oh, women should have equal pay for work. I'm like,
That should be
that's like, you had to name that something? That's not just a
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Like I said before, men good, women bad.
It's like so wait, you mean to tell me that, like, if we hire a programmer, right, we're gonna pay her less than she's a woman? Like,
Yes, I've heard men say yes
She's
to
doing
that very
like the
question.
same job you're doing.
Like, what if she like leaves?
Well,
What if she has a baby?
What if she has
We're not gonna
a
leave. She has nowhere to go.
When we talk about like equal pay, this can be towards entire industries or entire professions. For example, the traditionally pink collar jobs.
Right.
I have
And
one
then-
of those pink
I
collar
have
jobs.
you too.
Yeah, exactly. Childcare, being librarians,
secretarial
nurses, secretaries. Yeah.
I've never heard that. That's cool.
You know,
You
I'm
never
learning
heard
that,
pink collar.
I've never heard
Never
pink
heard
collar
that.
job.
And so,
It's been
my
blue and white my
profession
whole life.
is still 85% female.
Sure, yeah.
We are generally horribly underpaid for what we do as an entire profession.
Because it's a woman's
Because it's a
profession.
woman's job, right? It's been that way for 100 years, ever since Melville Dewey decided he was going to get hot women in the early 1900s to be his library assistants. Anyway, that, and he was kicked out of the American Library Association for that. Anyway, ask me about that story, I'll tell you. So it's always for some entire professions, it's always been that way. And we're required to have master's degrees, and we get paid maybe $40,000 a year. So we don't get paid that much money, but but we get some other persons. But that's like some of that. When I think about feminism in Jem, I think about specific things like I don't have to have a baby doll to be happy and like to want to be a rock star doll. Right. I didn't want a baby doll. I mean, I think I had them and they were like, because some of them were kind of cool, but I didn't want to play mom. I wanted to play rock star. I wanted to play actress.
Yes.
I wanted
I
to.
always played school. I hated playing house.
Right.
I still do. My house is a wreck all the time. But I played school.
I guess it was, and I guess it's like the whole point is what I liked about Jem. This is definitely for its time because it's not necessarily so much of it now. But back then, you could be a young woman and not be married and have a child, and also have a life of your own, and earn your own money, and have your own goal in life and your own ambition in life, and not have it tied to a man. Even though Jerica had a boyfriend. Right. Yeah.
Let's say on the surface,
all things
she
Rio aside. Again.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jerica was a very strong businesswoman. I mean, she did all of Starlight Music's taxes by herself.
When everybody else was out shopping.
Right. That's Rio.
When everybody else was out shopping.
Pretty much. Yeah. He did in a way. Yes, because he was their manager. And then
Wait a minute, he worked for her.
Oh yeah, in Glitter and Gold.
Yeah.
You can't count his record sale. He works for Jem.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
And I remember we had a similar discussion with this my first year at Jemcon. It was 2015. And one of the things that I was pointing out was that for a lot of for this TV show to be, as we're calling it, female empowering,
There are other things in that group that go along.
Jerica had a boyfriend, yes, but he was the word I used was fickle, because where he is, his position in the story was based solely on what Jerica needed.
Yeah, it's true.
If she needed something, if she needed to be, no, I'm talking about like when she tried to tell him that she was Jem. She needed to be able to talk to him, but his anger blew up and she couldn't. So that furthers the plot. Because now she can't tell him and there's a whole new dimension to what their relationship dynamic is going to look like. However, if she did need a sounding board, he was that. If she needed something done professionally, he was that. Right.
Well, that's it. You need a roadie? Rio. Need someone to work a soundboard? Rio. Need someone to fly a plane? Rio.
Last over there on the cliff. Oh, there's Rio.
Everything that her story needed, he became. So it was like he was her accessory.
Yes.
This is the way it usually is.
Well, with Barbie, Ken is a glorified accessory.
Well, yeah.
Ken is not his own entity. Ken is Barbie's
Tuxedo
accessory.
Mask.
Tuxedo Mask.
Yes.
Well, actually, he was. I'm a huge Sailor Moon fan. I'm like, yeah. Tuxedo Mask was created as someone you couldn't rely on. Someone who, he was useless.
Yeah.
He was. But it was the whole like roll me, but you didn't do anything.
And this has affected me so much. To adult, I think back and like,
So like, I actually really, this is like a weird thing for me, but I actually really like that big characters that are love interests.
Yes.
Because it's kind of reversal.
Yes.
If you think about like the typical story of like, oh, the guy that gets thrown, he's always so perfect. It's like, oh, you get to save the world.
The male accessory is a very interesting.
I don't know how many of you watched Desperate Housewives. But like the male characters in that show were wallpaper.
Yeah.
They were pretty to look at, and the women were the strong characters, and the men were eye candy.
It was a powerful thing to see as a child.
My favorite,
Well,
the
the majority of them are eye candy.
My favorite example of this was the Ghostbusters movie because the guy in that was just really hot, and just really dumb. And I'm like,
Thank you. Yeah, that's so funny.
how does the phone work? I'm gonna put it in there.
And the thing is, that in media, that has been the woman's role for so long.
Yeah.
And I find it refreshing to see that reversal. I find it so refreshing.
I don't knock how refreshing it is. I just, it makes my soul heat.
I'm gonna start using it.
I think it's better to.
It makes my soul heave when we go from one extreme all the way to the other. Where is the balance? Where is the balance?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because like on the flip side, like the Black female character is so overdone and it's like so damaging. And it's like so when you asked me like what my feminism was, I found that I like so I was a big fan of feminist frequency and music for a while.
What?
I was a big fan of feminist frequency and Nina Sarkeesian, where she like analyzes like TV shows. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why I always thought I was gonna read this character. Like why Power Rangers is the girl that's her character? They're not for
Oh, that's true.
Japan as a whole fan.
Yes. That's true.
They couldn't fight 3 others. She was in a gymnastics class.
Well, that even goes back to like Battle of the Planets or Voltron.
Yeah.
Where you have the hero, the Lancer, who's the second in command, the big guy, the little guy, and the girl.
It's like that's not a personality.
Yeah, your personality is you're female. That's all you are, and that's all you do.
Whereas like something, and I'll say her name when it's
Laura.
Oh.
Star Trek, she was an officer.
Oh wait, her.
That made her. Yes, her. You know who I'm talking about. Whoopi. You know who I'm talking about. But like she was an officer. That made her important.
Even though in some ways she was like a glorified telephone operator, but
However, she was on the bridge, and she might have had people. She probably had people under her. Yeah.
I mean, in the new Battlestar Galactica, fighter pilot. She like boxes and she's like like hard, and she isn't like too tough. That's the other trope I don't like.
As well as a lot of people that I count.
Yeah.
See, because that's an extreme. We have, so we don't have
They make the
over.
woman dance,
You know
they
what?
make the woman
We went
like
Final
what
Manor
men
and
want.
Housewife. Now we gotta go to like assassin. Like, okay, settle down.
Man,
Murder bitch does
okay,
not have to
here's
be.
here's another something that I've explored in some of the things that I've read. The idea that
Well, it does, and so.
as a
another really
as a
good,
societal
dietitian,
notion,
Patsy Casso, she's like Kate's partner.
men and women
She's like
carry
bringing a little
strength
brain, and Kate is
differently.
like the.
Yes.
So when a woman tries to display what's typically defined as a man's strength, it doesn't look natural. It looks like she's walking around amped up on a testosterone charge, and it makes no sense. But if you ask a woman to be strong in the ways in which she is characteristically, not stereotypically, but characteristically strong, it makes a difference. The presentation is wholly different.
And, you know, from my experience of teaching small children in preschool, boys, their fine motor skills are a mess. Because chances are they're not sitting and coloring, they're building with blocks. But then on the same time, if you ask a girl, well, climb this ladder, they have a hard time. But they can sit and color. So it's just when you learn things, you're gonna learn everything. You just learn it at a different time.
And we are out of time. Unfortunately. Thank you all for bearing with me and hearing me on my first channel. As Raven said, hopefully not my last.
Yay!